Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Bag, your weekly podcast reviewing games for the Game Pass collection, bringing you three unique perspectives from varying skill range. I am the chief custodian of this episode, Andrew. With me are Graveyard Keeper Keith.
Hello.
And our little piece of trash, Aaron.
Thank you. That was nice. What a nice intro.
I like how Aaron got the actual insulting one. It's like, gee, thank you. And then I'm like so angry.
I don't know, yours is pretty insulting too, because you absolutely hate Graveyard Keeper.
I was just going to say, anybody who knows this knows that I was not a fan of that game. And so, yeah.
This week, we had a listener request, so thank you so much, Chester, for recommending that we play Crypt Custodian by Kyle Thompson. Developed and published by Kyle Thompson. It's an odd name for a studio. But I'm just kidding, it's just made by one guy. But Crypt Custodian is a top-down action-adventure Metroidvania game where you are playing a cat who just recently passed away, and you are brought to the afterlife, and you are basically being tested. Were you a good person or a bad person? And spoiler alert, you were deemed a bad person. So you are sent to the afterlife to clean up all the garbage that is being piled around. Going around whether or not this is Game or Pass. I remember during the Impressions episode we did recently, Aaron, you were like, oh, did this listener request this to, spite you? Well, I think this listener requested this game to spite me. Not because it's a bad game. I actually will give this a game. Man, Crypt Custodian, where do you get off with these achievement points? One. That, I was like, what is this? Like, come on.
I immediately saw that. I was like, Andrew's gonna hate this, but it does make up for it, and we'll get to that.
But the achievements.
But I'm with you. I saw that and immediately I was like, oh man. I was like, this is gonna piss Andrew off, and I'm gonna love it. But no, all in all, so I had actually started playing Crypt Custodian before the recommendation even came in for it. So I had probably put in, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours of it, and it's definitely the type of game that I just get hooked into. It's I like Metroidvanias. It's got that kind of, simple artsy feel to it. And so it just naturally kind of is a game that draws me in. So it is a game. I wanted it to be a definite game. And there was parts I really thought I could have been there, but just there's certain other things that just, it's just a game, but it is good. And I liked it.
Yeah, admittedly, I will just say straight up from the beginning here, I did not play as much of this game as I wished I could have, but just due to me being out for surgery, I just wasn't able to play it as much. But of everything that I did play, this is a game, surprisingly.
Yeah, you generally do not like indie games, Aaron. I feel like anytime we've had you for an indie game, you're like, this is awful.
Kinda. My issue with indie games is they're becoming very samey.
Yeah.
So they're all kind of going with this pixelated art style or some kind of old school style, and I'm sure it's just easier to make a game, especially if you're a single person, to do that. So fine, come at me. But I'm just saying, if my preference is to play this or to play something from a AAA studio, I tend to lean a little bit more towards the AAA studios. However, again, this was a fun game. It's not pixelated, which is nice. I actually like the art style in this. I think the action's pretty decent. I think some of the puzzles are pretty decent. They get a little bit more challenging as you're going along, and you kind of have to think about it a little bit. There are a bunch of other little fun things about this that just kind of add a little spice to it. One of the things that I loved is those curses, those optional curses that you could deal with. There were a bunch of little things like that I was surprisingly really into. But just so I understand, is the actual definition of a Metroidvania a game that requires you to backtrack?
Yes.
As you learn new skills?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know if that was just the definition of them. As long as you're doing that, it's a Metroidvania style. So that would make sense. Really like this game. Can I also note, this game gave me a pretty good laugh right out of the gate.
Really?
Yes. A surprising laugh. When you kind of know like something's going to come, you just don't expect it to be that. But I love when you are given your broom and you have to destroy things to move on. And then it's like, you were a good cat. You're going to heaven. They're like, oh, this additional page. You destroyed all my stuff. I don't know why I thought that was so funny that that's the reason you're a bad cat is because you had to destroy stuff to get in. I don't know why. It actually cracked me up.
I mean, the whole game
It was a
has
surprise laugh.
little cheeky moments.
It does. It
But
has
yeah.
kind of cheeky humor, but that one I didn't expect it to be like, the thing you were doing as your tutorial was actually making you the bad cat. I thought that was just funny. That kind of cracked me up, surprisingly.
So the funny thing about the story, though, actually, is as you go through, you're collecting all these photos for different characters you meet throughout the game. And each character has 3 photos, and you can kind of find out who they were in their life, and then how they got here. And they all kind of have these little like south of midnight sad twists to them. I was like, kind of dark on them, but very, very under the surface. It doesn't put that every time you talk to them, everything's like cheeky and nice. And then you go and you look at those 3 sad photos. It's like, oh, that's actually kind of dark. So I like that because it takes you into both elements, but it doesn't shove it in your face, I guess. It still keeps it light and fun.
I don't know. They were pretty sad. Like this game is really like with its art style and its dialogue, it is kind of happy and everything like that. And then those stories are kind of like you said. I do agree. They're kind of like South of Midnight, where it's like, oh man, that's pretty sad. But the overall story of Crypt Custodian, as I said, you're a cat that just recently died. You're a normal cat. There was nothing really special about you, but whatever reason, in the afterlife, animals walk usually on 2 legs and talk and converse. But as Key said, you go around, you're trying to clean up the afterlife because, as Aaron said, you were deemed a bad cat because you destroyed some statues. But, originally you were just a stray that was picked up by a family and you unfortunately got hit by a car. So you're going around and your job is just to clean up. And then you end up finding one creature who's trying to break into the palace because there's a mirror that lets you revisit your old friends in the actual life. And you can't do anything with them. You can just see them and check on them. So you are trying to gather 10 friends in order to basically bum rush the palace so you all can get and use this mirror. And so you're going around and just cleaning up the trash and fighting bosses and trying to find new friends. The story is very simple, but I liked it. The dialogue, I know we've complained about some. There's no actual voice acting. It's just the typical bah, 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 bah noise. But the dialogue's very simple and short. The only backstory you're getting from people, as Key said, is just 3 photos. But the story was good. It wasn't anything that like kept me going. I was never like, ooh, I want to see what happens at the end. But I don't know. It worked really well with this game.
Yeah, I mean, if it's made by one guy, it said it was made by one guy, and I think the music looks like it was maybe done by his brother. They had the same last name, so I assume it was his brother. So when you kind of consider that, you're like, okay, it's an interesting enough story where you're like, I'm intrigued by the world. I'm intrigued by some of these characters. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to get some deep lore that's going to keep you hooked. And it's not like these relationships are more than just a few dialogue boxes. What happened to my camera?
Almost every time you have an issue with your camera. I don't know why.
I don't understand. It literally just went red and just started freaking out. Hello? Oh, you know what it was? A bug just flew on it.
It's fantastic.
And so it just freaked out, and now it doesn't know
that was
where.
The one. The whaler in particular. That was the saddest one, I thought. So if you're watching on video, Andrew just had a clip of some playthrough up there, and it was showing one of the. I have no idea what is happening with Aaron's camera right now. This is wild.
Just ignore me.
Oh,
It thinks
that's
Lily
in
is
there.
me.
Hey, there he is. So yeah, but Andrew was just showing on the screen. He had some gameplay up, and it was showing the whaler, and it's this little coyote you run across. He's the smallest one in his pack. He just wanted to hang out, and then he didn't make the jump.
Yeah, the entire pack jumped over a cliff, but he couldn't make the jump and died. And that's what I mean. It's just a quick photo. It's like, oh.
Well, and that's where I do like the storytelling, because again, throughout the dialogue, until you see that, none of that really comes through. You're just like, oh, I'm waiting for my pack. They're going to come back for me. They all told me they'd meet up here. And then you realize that he's waiting for them to come back, but they never will because he's dead. And it's like, oh, it hits really heavy in these moments. And But at the same token, I agree with both of you. It was never the story that kept me going on it. Like it is really interesting, and I liked it. But in a perfect world, I don't need the story, and I didn't here. I really just wanted more of the gameplay.
I thought I was kind of intrigued getting into it a little bit. When you first start this game, it shows you as the cat kind of like, it almost looks like you're falling into water, but there were a lot of other things in the background. Like there was like a car. Do you remember this?
You got hit by a car.
Yeah, I was wondering if was there like an accident on a bridge or
No,
something?
it was a rainy day and you got hit by a car.
It was such a weird looking scene that I was like, what just happened? Like, is there more to that? But yeah, again, the story's good. It's not, I don't think it's groundbreaking, but it's good.
I was a little disappointed in the ending.
Oh, it ends so quickly.
Yeah, it kind of
so quickly.
Yeah, and then I was a little disappointed. Like it kind of continues after. Like there's a secret vault you can open, and I'm like, oh okay. Like is there going to be like a super hard boss reveal? Maybe like a twist. It didn't, and I was just kind of like, you made another friend, and I was like, okay. So that was a little disappointing.
Stupid friendship.
Yeah,
what am I going to do with this?
Even at that point, like they could have, like once you make that last friend, they could have put a little bow on top of it, like where you go back to the main tavern area, and it kind of wraps it up somehow. Like,
well, you kind of can. You go to the tavern and you can see people, and you can tell
but
them like, oh, what did you think?
I'm talking about after you go to meet the new friend. Like that's when you should be able to kind of put one last bow, and because it should be like, I don't know,
the last friend's story also didn't make sense. It seemed like a lie.
Yeah, I don't know, that part was all kind of weird, and I'm with you. I didn't love the ending and where it got to, but I don't know. Again, it didn't bother me too much because again, it was good, but it wasn't about that as much for me.
Yeah. But the thing where the game really shines, though, of course, is the gameplay. As I said, this is a top-down action-adventure Metroidvania style game where you have a dash, you have a jump, you have a broom you swing to hit enemies. It's really simple. As far as like the normal enemies go, not that interesting. Like that was my biggest complaint. I felt like there is a decent enemy variety, but I felt like the attack patterns are very similar. They're either doing like a melee, they're either doing like a floaty range, or they explode. And it was just different skins of that. But what was a lot of fun were actually the boss battles. But this game is a lot of just going around collecting things. My biggest chief complaint though when it came to the gameplay is a lot of times. So I couldn't fully confirm, but it did seem like this game lets you hit different areas when you want to, as long as you have the skills for it. But there was a lot of times I finished a boss and I went, now what? Where do I go? Yes. I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Well, so it's a twofold issue on that, because it will guide you. So in the tavern, you can go over to, I don't remember what it's like, one of the little things next to the shopkeeper, and you can buy hints, and it will mark on the map like, here's your next major spot you have to go to, whatever.
Wait, you could buy hints?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was just to be able to put new markers down, and I'm like, no, I don't want to put markers on the map. I don't care.
No, you can buy hints there. It's but the major marker, so it would guide you to one, but I would look at there and then I would actually go finish up like 2 other spots, because you're right. You can kind of go through the game the way you want to, as long as you have the skills. And that actually comes out even more after you beat it, because you can turn on a mode that shuffles skills so that you don't collect them in a specific order. So then the whole idea is, I guess just beat it however you want to beat it, which that feels weird. I don't get it, but it is there. But you can just, it's like 200 souls or whatever, or trash, and you can buy a mini marker. So I just kept doing that until I couldn't buy any more. That's how I ended up collecting all the stuff.
I didn't know that either. And maybe again, this is probably a type of game that I'm not super familiar with. But for me, I did feel like I was lost. Kind of. It always felt like you're running into a spot that you're like, oh, I have to come back to this spot at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And then just trying to figure out, well, when I need to come back here, am I going to remember where this is at, kind of thing.
Is this your gameplay, Andrew?
It is.
Gosh, that took you so long to do that puzzle. That was painful.
Took like 5 seconds. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Andrew,
could
you've
have had that.
changed.
You could have had that done in like 8 less hits than you did.
You used to be good at video games.
But
not
That was literally
anymore.
the first time I had to deal with the fire.
Why are
Oh
you cleaning
my-
up that stuff on the ground right
Oh
there?
my gosh, Andrew. I can't believe how many souls you have there. You probably so I'm guessing you did something that I didn't do very early on, which was buy the thing that gives you boosted trash when you kill enemies.
Yep. No. So this was pretty great about. So the combat. I will say the thing that kind of stunk about the combat. It didn't really change too much. But what you're kind of doing in this game, you're collecting these perk spheres, and you can actually equip. Eventually, if you get enough points, you could equip them all, but you need to get upgrade points. So depending on the sphere, obviously, it's like how good of a sphere it is. Like, oh, like the one in my gameplay you're seeing here, because I have so much trash, is my damage got stronger the more trash I was holding. So I never wanted to spend my trash because it increased my damage percentage wise. And that costs like 5 upgrade points. So if I needed more upgrade points, you can find them in the map. There's a vendor that also sold upgrade points, but you can upgrade your different skills. So you have different perks. Like one, you can have a creature that follows you around and it'll shoot the enemies for you. You have another one where if you get hit, your invulnerability lasts a little bit longer. But when it came to actually the perks and stuff, I thought they were great, but it didn't nothing was too game changing for me. So in this gameplay, as I said, I get stronger the more trash I hold. I did not notice much of a difference. I felt like every enemy took about 8 brooms hits, whether I had a lot of trash or no trash. It didn't feel like it was that strong.
It's funny seeing you play this, because we must have played this game completely different, and maybe this is an interesting thing about it because I've never once hit over, I don't know, 3,000 trash. I just immediately would spend it on upgrade points or buying new skills. Like I tried collecting one time, but then I got to the point where it chops everything in the shop in half. That's when I finally saved up and got the one that gives me more trash. And yeah, I never really collected it, but I'm betting you have everything unlocked, and you just in this clip got 1,000 kills. So just how many currency you have to kills from where I am is crazy.
So yeah, you beat the game, Keith, didn't you?
Yes.
Did you? I like at the end, the trivia. Did you do
Yes.
that? I didn't know if it showed anywhere, but there was there's a little trivia game at the end, and the guy's like, "How many times did you swing your broom?" And it's a 3-choice multiple choice, and I'm like, "How am I supposed to know this answer?" It's
just a wild guess is I think most of what it is.
I actually got it right.
I got that one wrong. I think I got my kills right, and I don't know. I got 3 or 4 of them right actually, but the fights weren't too hard.
Do they explain why the cat is wearing a big coat?
No.
No, I kind of just assumed there was just some weird. I don't know. Everyone is dressed in the all of the animals are dressed.
I guess
upright in the afterlife.
You are just kind of in an interesting coat. Just an interesting coat every time I see it, and I'm like, what?
He looks like he's ready to go on an adventure.
One of the things that perplexed me with the story, one of the friends that you meet is a pack of little mice, and their story ended because a cat killed them. And it's like, how are they not afraid of you? You're a cat.
I mean, that's
everybody's friendly though. The whole afterlife, everybody's just kind of friendly.
True. I mean, yeah, coyotes and cats shouldn't be getting along either.
No, everyone just kind of seems to get along. I'm all right. Maybe the game does have deep lore,
except for maybe Kendra.
But even then, they're nice about Kendra. They say Kendra is fair.
Well, I think that's a product of what's the
propaganda?
The pretty much, yeah.
Because there is propaganda all over the place for Kendra.
Because as far as they're concerned, Kendra is just one face, and they're all bad. They just never have a chance. So she judges them, and she's like, "Well, she said I was bad, so I'm bad."
Yeah, but she gives them an opportunity.
Well, there's that too. Maybe this game's all about capitalism. Is that what this is about?
I don't know. Something's going on with this game. Maybe there is more to it, and we're just like, oh yeah, it's really simple. And it's just because we have not figured actually what we're scratching at here.
I mean, me and Keith beat the game, and we kind of know. How far did you get, Aaron?
But not that far. Again, I'm only a few hours into it.
I mean, the game's not. This is a great thing about this game. It's not very long. For time to beat, it says 10 hours, and then 11 hours for completionist. I think I rolled credits at 8 hours. So
Yeah, it's
I
definitely a
didn't
game
think it
you
was
can
that
move through
hard.
quickly because there's no real points where there's like major like damage jumps other than the bosses, and they're all kind of easy or hard in their own right. This I thought was one of the most interesting bosses right here.
Even then, like the first boss, what was did we all run into the first
Pot of
boss,
spiders, I think.
pot of spiders?
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I liked. It's just a big old pot of spiders.
You could kind of chunk that boss down super fast.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of with you, Andrew. Like the damage, I didn't notice anything on the damage upgrades, like at all.
Yeah, because one of the
They all
perks I
felt
got
about the
was
same.
new broom, increase your damage by 30%. And
Yeah,
it didn't seem like it did anything.
yeah. Everything
was the one-
kind of died around the same pace, but
It did seem. I feel like it kind of made differences on the bosses, like if you did or didn't have those on there. But my one big gripe about the bosses is not that this game is by any means a Souls-like, but it has, at the very least, as Andrew's referred to, like the dance of the bosses. You have to kind of know their moves, but there's no actual rhythm to them. Aside from having certain breakpoints, which is about halfway health, right? We're seeing on this Andrew's playthrough here. They just do skills at random. Sometimes it's back to back the same one, sometimes it's not. And that drove me nuts on at least 2 of the bosses.
Yeah.
now I forget what I was just going to ask because I was just thinking about these bosses. Yeah, okay. So difficulty wise, what did you guys play on?
There was
It
a
had like
setting?
an easy, medium, hard.
Did it? Probably normal, I think. I don't remember.
I guess normal. I didn't realize
I
it was
think
a
it was,
difficulty setting.
yeah, a
Now that I
couple
think
weeks
about
ago.
it.
Okay. So it like told you at the beginning, depending on the difficulty setting, you got basically, I think it was like the speed at which you're given like a heads up on what the move's going to be. I think
Interesting.
that's kind of what it changed. I don't remember if it said damage as well, but it like told you what each one of the difficulties would do for you. So I was kind of curious looking at your gameplay. It looks very similar to mine. I didn't know if you played it on harder difficulty or not because I was curious if that changed much. Because would you say how many did you guys die at all?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Which is weird.
Okay.
I did not think I died that much, but in the trivia game, apparently I died like over 1,000 times. And I'm like, that does not seem right.
I kept dying whenever I did one of those curses.
I only died like
Yeah.
maybe twice in those curses.
And it was stupid stuff. It was like I'd always end up running into one of those environments where it's almost like you're going against like a horde. You know those where you kind of go in, you're kind of locked in the room. You kind of have to defeat the horde before you can go into the next room. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I would always have the curse going in there, and I'm like, crap. Now I'm gonna have to deal with this, and you can't heal, so you're just kind of stuck.
Yeah, but you can't really heal anywhere anyways, aside from going to the camps. And
No, I know.
guess if you go in
But
with
you
low
could,
health,
even if I did go back, I still couldn't heal because there was a point where I was playing this game and I was like, is this a decent game for like kids to play? I mean, it's such a cutesy looking game and you're a cutesy looking cat with cutesy little frog friends and fox friends and all this stuff. But then you're like, I don't know, is this actually kind of hard?
I don't think so.
I think especially if there's a difficulty and you can just drop it easy, I would say especially no.
But even then, I'm just trying to picture my kids like figuring out some of those puzzles because like I didn't think the puzzles were very hard, but I could see why somebody would be completely lost in those. So I was just wondering if you guys thought that.
No, see, like this is one thing I do like about this. The difficulty on it, for me, it was on the easier side.
Yes.
Like I said, I think I beat this game in like 8 hours. I kind of breezed through it. There was only a couple bosses that I died maybe 2 or 3 times. Even the final boss, I think I only died twice. So I think this is a really good game for like young teenage. I don't know if I'd give it to like an 8-year-old. They could probably get through a good amount of it. Because even the puzzles, as you said, weren't too hard. Some of them made me think a little bit, but those were optional to get a perk sphere or anything like that. So to me, like I think this is a really accessible kind of Metroidvania because Metroidvanias can be super hard. Like the one me and Keith love the most is Ori, and like that one's definitely one I would not give to a young person.
No, not by any means. I am curious, did you look up any of the puzzles or any of the solutions? Okay. There was 2 spots in particular I looked up, and the only reason like it was you had to go like way far, and it's like that burrow skill.
The digging one, yeah, those digging ones.
And it was just a matter. I was like, I know I have to do it. I just have to find where. And so that's where I just caved. And I was like, I'm just going to look this up because this is driving me nuts. But no, overall, I liked the puzzles. They seemed to just flow too. And like Aaron said, everything felt very like, okay, I know when there's a spot I'm going to need to come back to. Now, my gripe about that is Metroidvania sometimes do this. It's a very small, easily traversable map, but when you look at it on the main map, it looks so just blah. I don't know. I feel like it's hard to navigate when you go to the map itself.
Very.
So I'm just constantly going back. I'm like, wait, yeah, I think this is the way I need to go. I think this is the way I need to go. And then I'm actually like 4 sections over from where I realized I was, because it moves quick, but you don't realize it.
That's exactly what I was talking about. There was like, I got a new skill and I was like, oh, I remember this spot that I passed at one point where I would 100% need this. And then I'm looking at the map going, I don't remember where that is. And then I thought I figured it out, went there, and I realized, oh, no, this is
a different skill that I was remembering.
Well, no, it was the right one. It just wasn't the right place. And so I was like, crap. So now I got to go figure this out again.
That's where, I mean, honestly, the game is easy enough that if you want to do all the collecting, just go beat it and then buy all of the markers and then let them be your guide, because it's like, I know sometimes that's kind of like, I want to figure it out on my own. Don't waste your time. The puzzles are fun enough that just having the location, because there is also one of the perks you get that reveals any hidden bridges, which is a huge plus once you get that. If you are trying to look in your own, because you can just go around and look and you'll find stuff.
Like, I'm just thinking in the fact that this is just a single developer. I kind of like the thought of this kid's basically selling cheat codes. In his game for in-game currency. And
not microtransactions.
Like you're not obviously paying for it. It's all just kind of built into the game. I kind of like that concept of just, if you want to play it hard, go play it hard. But if you need a little help, you need a little push, that's totally fine too. The option's there. I kind of like that.
I like watching Andrew because I know that exact thought process you had when you had 1 health bar and you pulled up your mat to be like, how far am I from, from the teleport? Because that's exactly what I would have done right there too. But yeah, I do like it though. I like the way that they did that, because I don't know, it didn't make it too hard. Like, thinking back on, and it was meant to be more difficult, and I actually appreciate that they did it this way, but we talk a lot about Tunic. This is far removed from Tunic, but it has, some of the same feels in its Metroidvania aspects to it. And the way that it doesn't really tell you anything, you just kind of go at your own pace. So I kind of compare them immediately on that. And I don't think I would have wanted Tunic to have that in-game ability. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it would have taken away from the fun of it, because that game was so intentionally, we're not going to hold your hand. Good luck. And so I like that it didn't have it there, but in this, because it was fairly simple, it was a perfect vibe to it.
That's kind of interesting, because I feel like Tunic would have been a game where you would have gotten away with that.
I think it would have worked. For me personally, I like it better in a game like this than I do in Tunic, because in Tunic, I didn't mind putting in that 45 minutes of like kind of banging my head against the puzzle, or put it down, walk away, try to figure it out. If I was doing that in Crypt Custodian, I would have hated this game, because nothing was so complicated in its feel that I needed to do that.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going to mention with this.
Oh, no, we never do this in the middle of the afternoon, so this is
we're recording at a much different time.
Yeah, we're recording this with the sun still out, so it's kind of freaky.
I know. That's why Keith has much more activity going on his side over here.
Nobody's in bed just yet.
But if you're interested in the full gameplay, I did put it about an hour. So check out our YouTube channel. You can see an hour of my gameplay. But yeah, the combat in this game, like I said, my biggest complaint too was just like the enemy variety. Like, I liked the skins of the enemies, but I felt like, I don't know if you guys felt the same. To me, the enemies felt samey. So like when it came to fighting the generic guys, there was actually a handful of times too, you don't have to fight them majority of the time. a lot of times I'm just like, why am I fighting this? And I just start jumping around and boosting and just going by everyone. Because it's like, yeah, you got some trash, which, you know, is the currency, but I'm like, why am I doing this? The boss fights were fun and interesting, and there's a good amount of boss fights, which there is a boss fight mode as well too, which is nice, but I was a little just disappointed in like when it came to just fighting the generic people.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to criticize you early on when you made that claim, but you are right. And the reason why I was initially going to criticize you is because I was like, man, I felt like that was one of my strong points. Is I felt like it introduced new enemies very quickly. But you're not wrong. The variety is there, but how you actually deal with them is very much the same.
Like you have archers. Like, does he shoot one arrow? Does he shoot a 3-way arrow? Does he shoot 3 quick arrows? Like that's all it was. It was a very similar attack pattern over and over again.
Yeah, I agree, and you're right. It was a variety of different types of enemies, but again, how you handle them is all about the same.
Yeah,
Really.
it was.
I
think it was more
smack
about
them a lot and dodge their one move.
Yeah, I think they probably all had about 6 attack moves in total. It was like straight melee, range, the like close arm kind of semicircle, a spin, and then some sort of explosion.
Yeah.
And that was and then like a flying one of melee versus that. But all in all, yeah, another actual gripe I have, just another real small one, especially, and this is for me especially because I played the game. I started probably about a week before I went on vacation, and then I picked it up after I came back from vacation. So like I had like 2 or 3 weeks of a gap in between, and unless I missed it, there's nowhere that tells you, hey, here's your kind of meta skills. Like what we just saw with Andrew there. Yeah, like you can throw your broom and you can, jump to it. And I forgot I could do that. And I was sitting there like bashing my head against how do I get through this thing? And then all of a sudden I just happened to try. I was like, oh my goodness. And then I went back and opened up like 6 more spots because then I remembered I could do that. And if I just could be like, hey, what are my meta skills? It would have made that a lot easier. Small gripe. But
no, I would say that's a big gripe. Like that's going to be one of my pro tips. Do not put this game down. I played within the week, and even I had that issue. There was a couple times where I'm like, how do I get past this gap? And then I was like, oh wait, I forgot I have this ability. And and that's the thing too. There was one time I put the game down for 2 days, and when I booted up, I was extra lost. I'm like, where am I going? Like, what was my objective? I know I'm trying to make friends, but I'm like, I have really no idea where I'm going on this map.
So try to play the game through
like a weekend game.
Yeah, and it's not long, so you should be able to do it.
Yeah, that would I think be my biggest thing is if you want to play this game, I really think just give yourself a weekend to devote to it where you don't want to focus on other games or whatever. Oh, this boss drove me nuts because it took me about 5 or 6 times before I realized that burrow spot was there.
So it took me about 2.
Do I get past it?
For Andrew saying he really didn't die much in this game.
We are watching a lot of.
Well, if you notice, I started that boss fight with 1 health. Okay,
it wasn't even that. I saw you die earlier.
I'm wondering if it counts every time you fall off as a death too, though.
Oh, is it? I thought it just counted.
I don't know.
Damage.
I'm saying I'm wondering. It doesn't. There's no
you
real way to test that.
But I think technically you don't have health; you have lives. So it's
that actually would probably make more sense.
Then that would probably explain why
I
died 1,000 times.
But either way, yeah, it's these are fun. I feel like people are gonna have to watch this with the video because I just keep going back to watching your gameplay and talking.
I feel like my videos distract you guys more than anything.
It really is.
I'm good.
But it's also like reminding me of things.
Yeah, exactly. You're kind of like, oh yeah, that thing. I remember that.
All right, but one thing I do like, so the gameplay, it's your typical Metroidvania. I didn't think it did anything too crazy to like rewrite the book, but one thing I really liked about this game was its art style and its art choice. As confusing as it was to figure out where I had to go, I at least liked every area looked very unique and distinct, including a color palette. And so like it was kind of easy to be like, oh, okay, I remember that area. It's the purple area. I had to use my dash to kind of like do this mechanic. I really liked that part of this game. The thing, like even though the enemy variety wasn't good, the actual map variety was awesome.
Yeah. No, I'd agree. Graphically, I think the game looks great. And this kind of goes back to, it doesn't look hand-drawn, but it's almost kind of got that pastel-y watercolor look to it a little bit that I really like. It's simplistic, but I like that about this game. And I know I said that at the beginning. One of the reasons why indie games kind of drive me nuts is they tend to go for that, 16-bit pixelation look
Yeah.
just so often now. So I just appreciate when a game actually has its own design and its own look. But I totally agree with you that I think that's a big positive for it.
With the art style, I know Keith did, but Aaron, did you ever get to Mira the rabbit?
Yes.
All right, what did you guys choose for the options? She's like, so Mira is a rabbit that's trying to host a dinner party.
Yeah, she's the one that you have to go into her basement.
Yeah, she tells you to go in their basement, but she's talking to you on a walkie-talkie. And there's actually this is the only time you actually had choices. Like, what did you guys pick for choices? Because one thing she was like, oh, what should I serve for food? But the funny one was, what should I wear? What did you guys choose for her to wear?
She was wearing a t-shirt.
So did you tell her to be fun and loose?
I think so, yeah.
That's what I picked too.
Okay. So all I've answered so far, because I left that area, because I didn't think I could do anything in that area.
No, you can finish it.
Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So the only one that I've told her is to feed people the swamp soup.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
Okay, so when you're in there and you're turning all those things, I don't have any skills to make those jumps.
You probably do.
I don't have what you guys like. What Andrew's video was just showing, it looks like that little broom thing was probably the way to do it. I don't have that.
There's parts of the basement that are cut off that you need that ability, yes. But I remember I was able to complete Mira's to get the tablecloth. I was able to do that within one run.
Okay, so I was going around there and I just kept thinking, oh, I must be missing a skill here, so I just left. So I just went and did other things. I didn't.
Man, and that is what's frustrating. I feel like the lack of direction can sometimes be really irritating.
And you're talking to me. I can't stand that type of stuff, but I don't feel like I've gotten stuck yet, if that means anything. Like I haven't gotten to a point where I was like, I legit do not know where I need to be right now. It just felt like, oh, I was in this area and it was just a corner I'm not supposed to be in just yet. And so I was like, well, I'll go to a different corner. So I backed out of it and just left because that's what I assumed. I kept running into these puzzles that I was like, I need something here. I just don't have it. Well, I'll come back later. So I was only able to answer one question for her because I moved on. Why? What happens?
Well, I was curious. So she gives two options of what should I wear? And you could say something like fun and free or something more formal. I chose fun and free, which was kind of funny. It's
so I just picked formal.
It's a giant shirt that says I'm a rabbit born in a barn, get over it, or something like that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like one of those Facebook shirts.
That's pretty great, actually.
And so that's why I was curious if someone picked the formal one, because I'm curious. Because the entire game they're wearing it. It's funny because it's massively oversized. And so as they're walking around, they look like just a giant walking t-shirt.
The game has random moments of humor. It really and I do think it was pretty decent. One of the frogs, I think, said Pearl died or whatever. He goes, and that's in our culture, that's one of the worst things that could happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's such a small, stupid line, but it's so funny.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, the game randomly caught me off guard with its humor. There are just these moments in our culture. That's one of the worst things that can happen. I was like, dude, that is pretty good. But yeah, that, and that t-shirt thing just sounds like another moment of just random humor in the middle of this thing. So I'll try the formal one when I go back to it. By the way, quick shout out to I think Andrew, when I was at your house a couple weekends ago, the kids were playing Minecraft on the cloud, and I was shocked at how clean that stuff looks. I keep forgetting how good cloud gaming is now.
Yeah,
I played this on cloud, and it's not super. You don't need crazy super latency for it, but I mean, it was spot on. I literally thought it looked installed. It never once did any of the weird clipping thing that it used to do in the past. The only reason I remembered I was on cloud is it kept popping up with a
Oh yeah,
Do you
like,
want to install?
Do you want to install this? And I'm like, no, leave me alone. I'm like,
do you want to not use our cloud numbers for a bit? Like,
I was blown away at actually how good this was on the cloud. So shout out to the cloud on this thing, because
Yeah, shout to the cloud.
Shout out to the clouds. Hey, clouds.
you're doing great.
I see you. You're doing great. But it was great to just kind of be able to fire this game up and not have to even worry about it. So I don't think it's a very large game anyway. But
were you playing it on console cloud?
So
or PC?
Here's what happened. I downloaded it on PC, so it is on my PC. Then my appendix exploded. So then when I got home, I just fired it up on cloud on Xbox because I didn't need to come out to my office. So
no, and the only reason I ask is I'd be curious if you'd have the same, because obviously it's dependent on what your connection is. The cloud itself can only do so much, but I was just curious, like if you were notice it on browser or like on mobile data versus say like internet data, because obviously you probably have pretty good internet, and that's going to help immensely.
Yeah, I have good internet. Like I have a Wi-Fi 7 router. Outside of my phone, I don't think I have a single device in my house that runs on Wi-Fi 7, and the Xbox definitely doesn't. I don't even think the Xbox runs on Wi-Fi 6. Didn't the newer ones, the refreshed ones, didn't they run on Wi-Fi 6?
That's a good question. I could have swore they do 6.
I thought that was the one there. They upgraded it. But I mean, even at Andrew's house, Andrew is running some pretty old janky internet over there, and
yeah, it's yours. Ever since I upgraded it sucks.
His Minecraft was running great on there. So I don't know. I just think that stuff has improved drastically.
Yeah.
And I don't really give it a shot, and I should, because it's great.
I mean, quick news plug in here. This actually was announced today that Microsoft expands the Xbox Cloud gaming service to both Game Pass Core and Standard. And Game Pass Core and Standard subscribers will actually get access to some Game Pass PC games. So
wow.
That's a great thing too, of like cloud gaming was only meant for the Game Pass Ultimate people, but now it's actually being expanded. Yeah, I did the same. I actually played this game a good amount on cloud as well. And like that's what I like. This is why I said this game's not too hard, because Metroidvania games, you got to be a little bit twitch reflexes with your dodges and parries. There's no parry in this game, but there's dodging. But it seemed very forgivable. So I any little latency was okay.
This was the reason why I never really touched the cloud. I mean, early on when the cloud stuff came out, it was great. Like it was a novelty great. It played pretty horribly. You get a lot of tearing, like it just didn't play right, and you could tell there was latency issues there. So, what a cool gimmick, but you never really wanted to touch it. And so this was kind of one of those instances where I was afraid it wasn't going to work. But now I'm kind of curious. I kind of want to test it out on some Hero Duty stuff.
Honestly, it just occurred to me. We're on a real tangent here, but like as I'm sitting here, the volume you hear in the background is my oldest playing NHL 24, whichever one is on Game Pass right now, and he is playing it on cloud because he's on the old Xbox and he didn't want to install it, so he's actually playing online with a friend, like against other people.
Which is because when
and every so often I'll see it like do a little bit of clipping, but all in all, he does this on a regular basis and rarely complains about it. So even beyond that, like he's playing a true online multiplayer game and still actually running it pretty well. So I think that speaks to the volumes of actually how well it runs.
I think
so
if anything,
crazy. You go ahead and try Call of Duty and let us know.
That would be like the true test, because that game is so hyper fast now that it's just like, how much butt sliding can the internet handle?
I want to say I tried it when it first came out. Kind of same thing. I was like, I just don't feel like installing it. I just want to run it real quick.
Don't feel like installing a 120 gig game.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So I'd be curious, but yeah, I bet it would run fine. Like, yeah, you're not going to get yourself ranking up super high, but you're probably going to run all right, especially if
I would want to know if it's playable.
Yeah.
I remember I did it for a while.
This game was 100% completely playable. Like I said, I kind of forgot that I was even running it on cloud until if it didn't pop up with that annoying, do you want to install this? Why was it doing that, by the way? Can I turn that off?
I don't.
You might be able to.
So.
I don't think so though, because I think it's them trying to be like, hey, you were going to keep letting you do this, but just for our sake, you're using up a lot of data when you're doing this.
Well,
so if
you're
they
offering the dang service.
I know,
Xbox.
but that's why it's so polite. It's just like, hey, seems like you love this. I bet you just love to just install it so we can take a break.
I love it on there. The other thing that's funny about the cloud stuff, I know this isn't supposed to be about the cloud, but it is saying this game is very playable on the cloud if you'd like to do it. But I like when this still boots up. It still says it's in beta.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it still
cloud
tells
gaming
you
is
that
still technically in beta.
Oh,
cloud gaming is still in beta, and it's just surprising to me after all these years. It still has that when it's something they advertise on their games, like they show, and they've been expanding the games that are on it. So it feels like this is a well-established service at this point. It's just kind of funny that they still play it off as, a work in progress.
Which just feels like a way of just washing their hands if something bad does happen.
Yeah, exactly. I know like a lot of games and studios will kind of do that. I mean, heck, Minecraft was in beta technically for like 4 years. I feel like it's always one of those things where it's like, as long as we're in beta, we can always use this as an excuse.
Yeah,
or
I guess.
Or you can just always go back to a beta. That's like Splitgate.
Yeah. Which, by the way, did you see their update?
No.
They removed the factions completely. So you can kind of mix and match all your stuff. Now there's a playtest this weekend. So going back to our Splitgate episode, Game Pass game, they are reopening a playtest this weekend if you do want to try out any of the changes they've made. But speaking of the beta, though, is just I kind of understand that in principle, but you assume every app that you use today is just a version of that app. That at some point it will update. Like you don't open up Spotify and you're like, this is the final version of Spotify.
We finally got it.
Yeah, it's the thing is everything is technically always in beta nowadays because it's always evolving. Every single app you own is going to evolve someday and add new features.
Well, especially because they in small doses will roll out like different versions of apps, right? To people.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way,
you won't even know it, but you'll be on like a small like group of people that just gets put on the newest version of an app.
Yeah. I mean, Xbox does that stuff too, but this just rides. Did you guys? Speaking of Spotify, I hope you're listening to this episode on Spotify because then you can test this out right now. Did you see what new feature they just added to Spotify? A feature everyone has always wanted. You can now DM your friends on Spotify.
Oh man, thank goodness!
So make sure to DM us. If you are listening to us on Spotify, go ahead and send us a DM. I think that went live.
Really? I actually didn't see that. Or DM your friends and share this podcast.
Now you have me on another soapbox. Why is it that apps need to add social media features to every single thing? Like Venmo having the ability, and they've always had this, but why do I need a public feed of what my friends are paying my friends for?
I mean, that's a legacy feature, my friend.
Legacy feature, I get that, but from day one, that has driven me nuts.
I always thought it was stupid. I always thought
now they have the college thing, like, protect the college page. They don't need to be protected. Just shut down the public feeds. It's stupid.
I've said from the very beginning, I thought Venmo was a dead man walking because of that feature. But here's the crazy part: Cash App added that feature. Like Cash App was like. They were like, but they don't force you. But you now have to categorize every payment that you make, and you can add fun emojis to it now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're doing the freaking Venmo thing. It is crazy. The internet's messed up. We should reboot it. I mean, put it back in beta. Put the internet back in beta.
It always reminds me of that episode of The Office. You know, what was that, like almost 10 years ago now?
Yeah.
Where they're a paper company, but they're like, we added instant messaging. And it just is filled with predators.
Yeah, it's when he creates Woof, he's like, you can fax, text, tweet, everything all at one time.
I mean, that's been the idea of Twitter since Elon Musk bought it, is basically he wants that app to be the everything app. So they've already applied to have some financial features. So you can go on there to use an AI, you can post to your social media, you can stream on it, and then soon you'll be able to make financial transaction on it as well. So the idea is you go to one app for everything. And I think everybody's just racing to be the app of everything.
If only everybody didn't hate Elon Musk, then maybe it would work.
Yeah, but the problem is none of these things are good at all of those things. They're usually good at one or two things. They're not good at all of them, but they don't learn that lesson. So
Man,
they all think they're going to be the everything app, and it's just not going to work that way. It's
if only
not.
Xbox would come up with a console to try to make it an all-in-one console. They could call it
If
something like
only.
the Xbox One.
Wow.
Anyway, back to Crypt Keeper.
Not Crypt Keeper.
Crypt Custodian. Okay.
I keep wanting to call it Crypt Kitty.
Yeah. Oh, Crypt Kitty.
I don't know why. I see a cat and I see Crypt. I think it's Crypt Kitty. I can't help it.
I mean, that was my issue too at first. I thought this game was gonna be maybe a cozy game because I kept thinking it was like Crypt Keeper, which isn't that a game?
No, that's
I mean,
a
we
character.
Graveyard Keeper.
No,
but I'm like,
that's
that's a Crypt Keeper. But I
the
kept
Crypt
kind of.
Keeper. Do you remember him from the 90s?
Oh,
Tales
yeah,
from the Crypt?
The Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, that's the Crypt Keeper.
But yeah, I was sitting there. I was like, oh, does this game have like some sort of like management where you actually have to like clean up the crypt and you like build a farm or something or deal with bodies? You know, it's just fighting. But anyway, the music of Crypt Custodian, got it right this time. The music I liked, but it didn't blow me away. It's very atmospheric. It works very well with this game. I mean, it's no Expedition 33, but I did like the soundtrack a lot.
I had to sneak that in there.
I know,
Had
I did.
to.
It's been a while since we mentioned it. You know, we have to bring it up. But I know I did like this game's soundtrack. It just, I don't know. There wasn't any like standout soundtracks for like songs for me.
The music was nice. Yeah, you're right. Nothing like outstanding, but again, considering it's a single person who did it, I thought it was pretty chill. Like I kind of liked that it was pretty just chill. I thought it fit the vibe pretty good. But you're right.
No, but
it was probably done on a computer with very minimal effort.
Yeah, what stood out to me about it is, and I don't know if this is a thing I've always thought about games, but I feel like it came to me playing this, is that any game that has a jukebox where I can just pick the song I want at any given moment, they can all be fine, but it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like there's no, again, I'm not even going to use it. South of Midnight, because I'm not going to copy Andrew here. So South of Midnight, for example, like you couldn't have played the song about Benji anywhere else in the game. It needed to be at that moment when you were doing Benji's story. You could have played the song from Mira's Basement anywhere in Crypt Custodian, it would have been fine. And for that, it doesn't take away from it, but it just makes the music a little bit meaningless to me. Like I actually played a lot of this game without any headphones on. I just played it watching it because there's no sound cues that you need for enemies or bosses. The music is largely, it's there. So it's good, but I don't think it's necessary. And I'm going to test that theory now for every other game that we play that has a selectable jukebox.
But if you do like the soundtrack, the original soundtrack is fully on Spotify. But it's very atmospheric. Like I always like to look for a good soundtrack where like you can study or read, and this is definitely one of those games. But now for one of my biggest complaints in the achievements. I don't know why. Okay, this has been a recent thing because there's another game I'm going to quickly plug here too. It is such a gripe of mine. If you have achievements and they don't end in a denomination of a 0 or a 5, that always irritates me. So Crypt Custodian has a lot of achievements that are worth 21 gamer score, which was like, why 21? There's another game I played recently. I mentioned Nine Kings on Game Pass PC. The achievements are worth 9 points. Get it? Because the game's called Nine Kings. I don't like that. It's like, I get it. Your game's called. I know, but it's annoying. It's like, come on. And so with Crypt Custodian, I don't get why it's 21. My only guess is this developer legitimately did it, so you would have to play more of the game, because the achievements that are worth 21 are collecting the pictures. Anytime you got 3 of those pictures, like you got an achievement for it, for that friend you were looking for, and it was worth 21. So that's how you at least get an actual round numbers if you end up collecting all the pictures. So at least doesn't screw you over going, no, you have to get every achievement in the game in order to have an even gamer score. So it's at least okay with that. But yeah, I just thought that was weird. As far as the achievements go, though, for achievement hunters, this is a very easy game. Like I said, I beat the game. I rolled credits in about 8 hours or so. There's an achievement for me to 100% the game, which is worth 20 gamer score. Like I'm at 940 achievement points. The only achievements I'm missing are 100% the game, and then there's 3 boss fight mode achievements that I could do. I don't think I will, though. I don't think I care, because you have to get like S ranking on all the bosses, And I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
I
probably
was
gonna take like 2 hours for 20 gamer score.
I was thinking I was gonna try for the 100% because I'm at like 90. I'm at like 98%. I think
Yeah,
I
same
need
here. I'm missing
I
2
need
CDs and like something else.
yeah, which is now that you know you can go buy the markers, it's simple. Just
Yeah,
go
I
to that
probably will do
because
that.
as soon as you max out, it won't let you buy more. So just go buy your markers, and yeah. So I have like I think it's like one skill that I have to buy or one skill that I have to unlock and buy. I don't think it counts the not weapons. There's
I think it does. We have to get the skills.
does it?
I'm pretty sure it does. But you might be
Okay.
right. I don't know.
But either way, yeah, I'm at like 98%. So I will go and probably capture that one. I was gonna try and get the one because there's one that's defeat a boss without taking damage, and it doesn't mention difficulty. So I think on the boss rush mode, doing it on easy, that
That's
one's
what I
probably
did. I
done.
did easy and I did the jar of spiders. Took me
Yeah,
2
and
tries.
that and probably like the S plus one on because I think it's just like S plus on one boss. But then I'm guessing you need to do hard and probably take no damage or something. But I
Yeah.
don't know. Either way, yeah, you can get up to like 940 easy.
But all right, let's get our final thoughts of Crypt Custodian. So before we start this, we'll read. So like I said, this was a list of requests. Once again, thank you, Chester. He said, I just finished Crypt Custodian on PC and it's great. Can't recommend it enough. Please play and review it. I give it a solid 85 out of 100. So I always love when a listener actually gives us his review of the game too. So thank you, Chester.
Yeah, a good recommendation. Like this was a good recommendation. I thought it was weird. I thought he was actually punking us. When you just looked at the image of the game, like you said, it kind of looked kind of like a cozy game. I was like, this guy's punking us. There's no way he wants us to actually play this. But no, this was actually a legitimately good game to recommend. So
yeah,
thank you, Chester.
So yeah, for my final thoughts here, Crypt Custodian, it's a very fun game. Like I said, this is a good weekend, maybe a week, depending how you do it. I recommend, like I said, playing it within the week because this game, I think you can get very easily lost. The map does a pretty decent job at showing you, yeah, you haven't explored this area yet, but it's frustrating when you get there and then realize, oh, I didn't explore that area because I don't have that skill. But where do I get that skill? And you could end up wandering around a little bit. Luckily, you move pretty fast. It's pretty easy to kind of travel and get to your destinations because you don't have to fight the random trash. The combat was fun. Got a little tedious at the end when it came to fighting the random people, but the bosses were cool. Loved the environment. Loved the music. The story in this game was fun, as Aaron said. It does have some sprinkles of humor in it. But yeah, for me, this was just easier on the difficulty scale, so it didn't hook me too much. But I did enjoy my time with this. But for me, I'd probably give this about like a 78.
Yeah, Crypt Custodian I liked a lot. I liked it before I was playing it for the podcast. Like I picked this up on my own, and the reason being is that Crypt Custodian is everything that I love about Game Pass. It's games like this that I'm never gonna go out of my way to spend $10 on, $15 on, despite going, yeah, that looks like it's kind of fun. I'd probably enjoy that, but I'm just never gonna go out and buy these. I'm not a collector of games. It's never something I've done. But putting these games on Game Pass fires them in front of me and just expands that horizon. And this is just a perfect example of it. It's not the greatest game I've ever played, but it's exactly what I wanted it to be. It was fun. I enjoyed my time with it. It could have overstayed its welcome. It kind of started to, as Andrew said, a little bit with some of the fighting towards the end, but that's just a matter of really the enemy styles not being overly different or unique in terms of how they go. And I think, and then even like, I don't whether they'll ever fix it, but I think even just like a simple patch of marking with like a different icon for the type of lock you were up against or how it is, just to make the map a little bit more decipherable would be a great quality of life thing. But ultimately, if you sit down and you play this game in a weekend, it's not going to give you a lot of struggle. It's a lot of fun. I highly, highly recommend it, especially if you're really just into these types of games at all. You like Metroidvania, you like top-down action games, whatever the case may be. There's a little bit of something for you in this, and it does them all well enough that it's worth your time. So overall, yeah, I think I wouldn't go as high as an 85, but I think 83 is a good score for this.
Yeah, so this is why I kind of like listening to you guys both give your scores and reasonings first, is because it kind of shapes mine a little bit more.
It's like Liz.
It more puts mine into focus, because I was going to put this in the 70s as well, but the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, I mean, there wasn't like a glaring, I hate this about this game, or this really annoys me about the game. Like, the worst it's gotten for me so far is, yeah, it doesn't really explain a lot of things, in the map is kind of a bit daunting when you're trying to figure out where you need to go. It's just so open-ended. But like I said, I haven't gotten stuck yet. Like, clearly we mentioned the basement. Well, I'm clearly missing something in that basement, but at least as of now, I've just moved on to other things, and I've been able to go and progress the game still. So again, when I come back to it and say, well, what did I truly hate about this game? There isn't anything there. It's a fun game to pick up. I'm glad that it sticks to a 10 to 12 hour range, because that's exactly what this game needs to be. Don't overextend it. And that means the game's pacing moves along pretty quickly. You feel like you're progressing all the time. I felt like I was always getting an unlock or getting some type of upgrade pretty quickly, because that's how the game is just set to move. So I was like, no, this has got to be better than a 70. Again, I'm kind of with Keith. I don't think it's quite an 85, but I think an 83 is actually a really good score for it. It's a fun game to pick up. You're going to get a good, like, just a few hours of gameplay, and you'll be done with it, and it'll be worth it. I think it's worth checking out.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough, like, because especially where you're at, Aaron, or anybody who's listening to this, I know I've said it a bunch of times throughout the episode, but like, take advantage of the buying those little markers, especially because if you're not really sure, buy a handful of them and then just start going to those spots. And chances are you're gonna jump into something, you're gonna find something that's gonna help you progress somewhere else, or you're gonna happen past the spot that you can, you forgot you could do something. So just those are your best ways to give yourself, quote unquote, something to do, so to speak, if you're feeling a little bit lost. And just another really quick thing about this that we kind of didn't touch on, but just a really, really nice quality of life thing, especially talking about the map. You can fast travel from anywhere at any point on the map.
Yep. It doesn't explain that to you at first.
It does? Okay. So
it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't. I was going to say,
Yeah.
because I didn't realize it. And then when I did, it just made the game feel a lot easier to travel. Just knowing that you can open up the pause menu. It can be a little bit slow to find the one you want, but it's worth it. Trust me. That's just another kind of hot tip, if you will, for getting yourself into this.
Another hot tip I want to mention too. As soon as you start the game, go to options and turn on the minimap. There is a minimap option.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I didn't either.
I know. I was digging through the option and saw that it said display minimap, and I'm like, why would I not want that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So turn that minimap on. That'll help you a lot. All right. So thank you again, Chester, for writing us an email and giving us this game recommendation. We have, like I said, some other game recommendations coming up. I put a poll out there on Spotify, which apparently people don't like to put in the poll. We have a lot of people that listen on Spotify, but I guess people don't want to vote. Come on, people. I don't want to have to make the decisions. Take it out of my hands. But yeah, if you have any game recommendations, you can either email us or I guess DM us now on Spotify, or, make a comment on one of our episodes. I always like getting game recommendations, but we've been playing a lot coming up here, so we've been very busy. I mean, Silk Song's coming out soon, so we'll be surprised.
Silk Song.
Yes.
Aaron's been waiting years for Silk Song. The day has arrived.
Can you guys believe Silk Song's finally coming out?
I never realized this. A couple of people put this up to us since we did that episode. Did you know Hollow Knight sold 15 million copies?
I believe it did. Like, I would
not. I would expect that game maybe sold like 5 or so.
I believe that would have picked up.
But
I just don't. I'm just saying there's no cultural impact to it.
Well, that's the thing. 17 million. That is a cultural impact, or 15 million.
I mean,
that's a cultural impact. Like, that is huge. I guess it's mostly Nintendo.
The biggest thing that I didn't think of was Nintendo, and that was what Squidkel in our Discord had pointed out. And I forget about Nintendo because the Switch is just so perfect for games like this, so they thrive. And it's just like this weird, quiet, niche community. Like, Nintendo is so big, but somehow so niche at the same time, I feel like. And So
I don't say Nintendo's niche. It's
I'm
selling consoles.
I'm saying like when you're talking about like these games like this, they'll just
Oh,
hide
yeah.
there and just be huge within the Nintendo community, and no one knows it. Largely,
Okay, I thought you were just saying Nintendo in general.
no. But that's what makes them so. They're huge. They're the biggest, seller in the world. All these things, but then you have these little pockets of just hidden gems that nobody don't squeak out rarely. And Hollow Knight is just one of those rare ones that kind of broke through. And so then we, from the Xbox side, are like, what the heck? But it probably sold 10 million on Nintendo alone.
Yeah, excited for that. But yeah. I've been your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. You can find me next week's live at Firebird0152. I've been playing a lot of Wild Gate and now Helldivers. So if you ever want to join me, hit me up.
Oh boy.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys want to say anything.
I just played 2 rounds of Helldivers, and it was just by myself. Can you team up with people? How do you do that?
Quick play. It's there.
I'm just saying bye.
Any of that.
All right.
See ya.
Love you all. We'll see you again next week.